Alright folks, how are we doing? Today we're going to be talking about why I think that duplo is the secret to getting as strong as humanly possible, right? If you are new to the channel, if you've not met me before, my name is Alex. I'm a professional strength and conditioning coach. I've been doing that for about a decade. It's basically my goal to get as many people as strong and as jacked as possible. So duplo, before you think I'm going mad, I want to demonstrate a concept to you. So watch this, right? Let's say we're talking about getting as strong as possible. Let's say that you had 10 seconds to get as strong as possible. You needed to get as strong as possible, as quickly as possible, okay? Watch this. I'm gonna get my little bricks here, right? And I'm gonna go, 10 seconds, go. Stack, 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 as quickly as possible. Running out of time. 3, 2, 1, and done, all right? There we go. This is as high as I'm getting. I've gone as high as possible in 10 seconds, as quick as possible, right? What's the drawback to this, all right? Well, the drawback is this is insanely unstable. The tiniest little tap, bad boy's gonna go, all right? This is the height you get in that 10-second time frame. So let's say you wanted to keep on building this higher, right? If you had more time. Well, I'm not loving it. I can get it a bit higher, but now I'm adding to the point and it's getting even less stable, right? This is like, if you're gonna do heavy max squats, heavy max deadlifts, heavy max bench press, just heavy single double reps over and over and over again. This is this, right? This is you getting as strong as possible, as fast as possible, right? So if you were told that you had 12 weeks to get the biggest powerlifting total you could, this is probably what you do. Just max effort lifts stacked on top of each other again and again and again and again, right? It's gonna work for a point, it's gonna get you a certain amount of strength. The problem, unstable as shit. So what if you wanted to get as strong as possible, right? What if you wanted to approach this a little differently? Well, I think what you would do is probably approach your training a little differently, right? So let's say I had a little bit longer. Well, I'd probably start with a much more stable base. I'd probably start with something like that. And rather than going straight up, I'll probably build these little foundation-y things, probably stick these on. This is taking me back to being like a kid, right? I love playing with this stuff with my daughter, which is kind of what gave me the idea for this video. And then maybe on top of that, I'm gonna stick this cool little green thing. And then maybe I'm gonna build up a little bit more, right? And then I'm gonna add these two to it. So you're noticing this takes a lot longer, right? I've only managed to do this so far. It is nowhere near as tall as the other one was in 10 seconds. But now, if we start adding that little peak on, look how much higher we can get. And this thing is still pretty stable. And we can keep on going and going and going and going. I'm just gonna add on any random shapes now, right? Look how much more forgiving this is, right? And yes, still, when you get right to this tippity top, not as stable, right? But look how much taller we've got just by adding this little bit of extra support and stability at the base, at the foundation, right? This is how to get as strong as humanly possible in an absolute nutshell, okay? This is building your base of athleticism, of hypertrophy, rather than just rushing for the heavy singles, okay? So if this was just rushing to do as much max testing as you could, just heavy singles on the squat and the bench and the deadlift and the snatch and the clean and jerk. This, with a base, is putting in proper hypertrophy work, putting in a proper base of foundations, spending genuine time building some muscle mass, using lots, like a much wider variety of exercises, using sets of 5 and 8 and 10 and maybe even 15 reps. This is doing athleticism type training, making sure that you can run and jump and throw. This is, what's another good example? Doing your core work, making sure that your core is strong and braced. You've got strong abs in multiple different sort of resistances and challenges, right? This is all of the stuff that makes you a better long-term athlete, that is gonna allow you to become the strongest possible, right? If you want to be the strongest that you possibly can, you need this base, okay? You can take the shortcut, you can take the quick one and build it up as quickly as possible, but it's going to be unstable and you're never going to be able to reach the same amount of height as you could if you actually invested the time and built this base. And this is a concept that a bunch of people have understood. If you chat to any strength coach that's produced a bunch of really, really successful athletes that have got as strong as possible, powerlifters, weightlifters, sports performance athletes, right? This base is important. This is your off season, this is your meat and potatoes. And the reason that no one does this stuff is because it takes longer and it isn't as sexy. And no one wants to brag about how many sets of glute ham raises they've done and no one wants to brag about all the extra sets of glute work or the sets of 20 to 30 rep lunges, because you can't brag. It doesn't make exactly sexy social media stuff, right? It just looks boring. Everyone wants to be the shit. Everyone wants to do all the really like sort of sexy, exciting stuff that looks great on Instagram. But this is the work that actually makes a difference. If you want to be as strong as humanly possible, duplo. Duplo is the key, folks. You need this base. So yeah, that is why I think duplo is the key to being as strong as possible. Let me know if that makes sense. I think I'm probably the only person that I know of that has used this analogy for strength training. It's kind of a weird analogy, but screw it. Why not? I'm just gonna do my own thing. Right. Hopefully you found that useful. If you did find it useful, feel free to do like the whole like, subscribe, share thing. It definitely helps the channel out. I think sort of the more likes it gets, the more that algorithm tends to shoot it off. More people see the video, so that's really helpful. If you're someone as well that wants a little bit more support, a little bit more contact with me, then I've also got like a sort of school community. How do I sort of phrase it? It's like, if you're not aware of what school is, it's kind of like an online community platform. So on there, I've got things like programs, nutrition plans, what else do I have on there? Like recovery guides, just a bunch of really good stuff. It's all evidence-based. It's all things that I've written myself. Each of the programs has got like 2, 4, 3, 5-day variations, different variations that you can use. There's going to be like live Q&As. There's a bunch of really cool stuff in there. So again, if you're someone that wants a bit more support with your training, a coach that kind of like checks in on you, then yeah, it's something you might want to check out. Other than that, I think that's basically it for today. Do all the stuff, do the likes, the subscribe, the shares. Go and buy some duplo if you've not got some, because this stuff is cool as shit. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. All right, see you then.